Welcome back, blade fans. Well, it's nearing the end of 2021. We're near the end of November here. It's not quite Thanksgiving, and a lot of knives have come in this year, so I've begun to think about the ones that I like the most for my own various reasons, and there are a number of them, so I'm doing this in a two-phase sort of video setup. This is going to be round one, and there will be at least a round two. So if your favorite knife isn't mentioned here, then it could be that it's coming up in my next video. So keep that in mind. And if that video doesn't cover it, well, there were a lot of knives I liked this year, but only so many videos we're going to do on them, otherwise we're going to be doing them the rest of the year. So what have we here? I want to kind of go over what makes me fond of these knives, what makes them in my mind unique. They span the gamut from budget all the way up to like a mid-tier production knife and 200 and over dollar mark. So I'd like to start off with one that is in the budget realm, and there's two on the table right now that are kind of in that budgety realm. They're both by Kaiser. This is the very well known by now manganese steel design, and it's Sheriff, I believe, who is the guy behind this design that has become exceedingly popular. And you know, it's still coming in around the $60 mark, I believe, maybe less, and it is exquisitely done at that price point. That's one of the amazing things about this knife, is you get a solid brass bolster, you get natural micarta, nicely sculpted, you know, but not so much so that it's all smoothed over. It's got kind of a raw look to the handle. A lot of people like it when this brass picks up a patina. I don't know that I'm one of those fans, and I really haven't polished this or anything, but you can see the beginnings of it. Brass is brass, and that's how it behaves. We have a really nice blade of N690, and that's nice to see in lieu of the usual D2. You have very precise file work on this knife and a beautiful place for your thumb. That ramp, that swale in the back of the blade. Recurve drop point with a beautiful belly on it. And a deep carry clip. Right hand only. And recess screws, which Kaiser and Civivi seem to be starting to do. All in all, it's a win-win-win on this knife. And for those of you out there that have it, I know you already appreciate what's going on here. It's a great size, not too large, not too small. Just really knocks it out of the park, and this is one of two that Kaiser has really knocked out of the park. So while I'm on the Kaiser topic, and did I even mention the name of this knife? This is the Grazioso. You know, I think I mentioned everything else I wanted to except the name. Grazioso. I think it means gratitude. Okay. If not, you'll correct me. This is one, and I have this in two flavors, so if you don't like the bright orange, this is the Inyon by, I believe it's Assassin Knife Designs, and I believe the man's first name is Arsenyan, and he is, as I recall, and again going by memory, Armenian. He has come up with a wicked nice design here. It's an unusual blade in the way that it's wide and it's tall. It's a drop point, almost with a little hint of a clip at the end there. It's a long blade, right up on 4 inches, thin handle, right hand only clip. Sorry, lefties. But this does come in a, I think I have it in a brown G10 with a blacked out blade and the same carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber. The same G10 black bolster. So we've got orange G10 and black G10 here. But again, you don't like the orange. Comes in another model. It is smooth as can be. Just almost dangerously drop shutty. I could probably tighten it up a little bit. On bearings, obviously, by Kaiser. Again, the name is Inyon. If you're looking for a full-size knife that's coming in around, I think, 60, 70. And the steel on this one, too, is N690. So, good steel choices. That's very typically an Italian steel, meaning used in Italian knives, not an Italian steel. Good hedge holding capability. Kind of a nice compromise budget steel. A lot of Fox knives are in N690, and some of them are in the hundreds of dollars. But just that blade profile is so cool, and the fact that without a actual choil on the blade, you can choke up on the handle just like that. Nice jimping. And I think they went with the flush screws here too. Yep, they did. The clip is not inset. I think as an EDC knife, this thing would work out really, really well if you're looking for a larger, thinner, very pocketable knife, and so smooth. I don't think I did much of any work on that at all. So there is the Kaiser logo. There is the Assassin Knives logo. I'm not sure we want to be carrying knives that say Assassin. There is the name of the knife, and again, comes in 2 models. This bright one and a more subdued one that's blacked out. That is one of my favorites this year. And again, part of the qualifications here is that these knives were introduced in 2021 to the best of my knowledge. Now we're getting a little fancier, and we're going to go with the Concept Kratos, or Kratos. It is an Ostap Hell design. And Ostap chose to put his name in a very unusual place, right on the flat of the grind there. Barely see it through the Damascus design. And this does come in a, I think, a straight S35 VN, maybe. What's really, really class about this knife, besides the titanium handle and the Damascus blade, is the black rose pattern in the Damascus, in the carbon fiber. It's another one of those early mornings. You see? Those circular designs in the carbon fiber, that is referred to as black rose. Kind of a cool name. We have a drop point with a compound grind. When I say compound, I mean 2-stepped. You can sort of see a hint here, however, of the changeover in the grind from that plane to the plane that moves out towards the point of the blade. Jimping, not too useful. Looks nice, but that's about as smooth as the rest of the spine of the blade, so what the heck. If this is a safe queen for you, or go to church on Sunday, gentleman's knife, then you're not really maybe going to care whether there's jimping there or not. Nice looking clip. Just a fancy knife. You want an eye popper, you want a showstopper, pull this thing out. Just really, really amazing. These are coming in, I believe, at a little over, maybe a little under 2. I'm not sure. And I don't know that the Damascus is more expensive or less. Check them out on White Mountain Knives. I'll be sure to leave a link. That is the Kratos by Ostapel Designs and Concept. Just a real eye-popping piece. While we're on Concept, let's go to yet another Concept knife. This is a big boy, and it is beautiful. This is a Morgan Cohen's design, and it is the Shikari. I think that means the hunter. And I have reviews on each of these knives independently, so if you need to know more about them, please pull up those reviews. There'll be a number of playlists where you should be able to find all the Concept knives, all the Civivi knives, all the Kubi knives, etc. Carbon fiber on both sides, which I love. So they didn't do the usual and go all titanium on that side. They went the same on both sides, and you can see the little bit of a gap there that you get when you have kind of what we would call a bolster lock. But look how drop shutty this thing is. This is another guillotine. Thumb studs, and they do fire it out quite well. And it's a thack, a big, deep, hollow sound when that blade comes out. And just look at that. I'd have to call it a Bowie clip. You want to call it a drop point, you can. But I call it a clip. It doesn't have an upturn like a Bowie, but it is a big clip point blade with a reasonably high grind, I'd say 2/3 of the way up. This is in 20 CV, titanium bolsters, just a beauty, but also a user for those of you that want to put this into action. Blackened titanium clip. Just a favorite since I got it. Some knives you get them and you say, oh yeah, that's it. That's like just about a grail knife. And that's where this guy comes in. Again, the Shikari, Morgan Cohen's design, Concept knives. Moving on so we can get out of here. First knife from Crystal Knives, a Russian company, designed by Ivan Braganets, the well-known by now Ivan Braganets, designer of the Rokat for Real Steel, and this is the Aurora. That is the one with the giant fuller with texturing. Just almost no other knife like it unless you're looking into customs. Not exactly drop shutty, but very smooth and on bearings. Comes with an extra set of bearings and a lot of extra goodies in that box. Fire it with a thumb stud, and it does lock up on the thumb stud, as opposed to having a locking pin there. There is the Crystal Knives logo. This is S35VN, titanium handle. And if you like the all titanium handled knives, this is definitely one for your collection. Got this through Knife Nuts podcast, and Levon, he's the guy. Just really brings in some interesting stuff. Really nice interview by Bob DeMarco of Levon. There we have a hardened steel insert, all the usual amenities and appointments. However, on this one, only right hand tip-up carry. And notice the slotted screws. That is very typical of all of the Ivan Braganets designs. Lightweight, but a full-size knife. A little over 3.5 inches. I think it comes up like 365 or what have you. Okay, last and really not least, just one of my favorite great feeling beasts of a knife. This is the Kubi Atlas, It's a Jelly Jerry design that was introduced in 2021. As far as I know, there's Jelly's logo. S35VN, which is something you don't always see from Kubi because Kubi does so many budget knives. This is a higher end, 160, 170 or so. Pick them up on Amazon. You can pick them up on White Mountain, which is where this came from. A lot of people say this, but they didn't think they would like this light blue titanium combo, but it's just enough, and it it really makes the knife special. The ergos on this knife are amazing. Fits right in the palm. It is large. It has a finger choil in the blade. It can be opened by either the flipper or, I think, yes, the slot. You just got to keep your fingers off the lock bar. That's usually the problem with these types of knives. So it does have a good detent. Yep, hard to fail. Swings out with authority. This is one of those chopper style, cleaver style blades that I don't often like. And this was really the exception. And that contour on the handle is what really makes it work as far as the ergos go. Effective jimping there. Very effective jimping, large, wide space jimping on the top. That's my first round of my 2021 favorites in folders, in production folders, not custom and not fixed. And there's going to be more. I'll be working on the next video. Should be out within a week or so. Maybe even sooner. So once again, big round of applause, shall we say, for the Kubi Atlas, the Crystal Aurora, the Concept Kratos, the Kaiser Inyon, the Kaiser Grazioso, and the Concept Shikari. Whew. I have a memory contest for early in the morning. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. This Old Sword, signing out.